Hermes is a very popular Parisian brand of perfumes, and it has been around for quite a while and been producing all sorts of perfumes. One of the most popular is called Voyage D'Hermes. You can see the little sample here, and the nice kind of emblem. The inside is quite dramatic, with a horse and a dove galloping across the water, and the back. So, the thing about this fragrance is that, well, a few things about it. It's unisex, so it's good for men and women. It's an eau de toilette. Usually I don't really go for eau de toilette because it's just generally weaker and lighter, and I just kind of prefer the eau de parfum. It's more full-bodied. But this seems to be a very popular fragrance. The sample is quite convenient because it has a spray design, and the full bottle is quite expensive. I think it's around $150. So it says fragrance takes to the wing. So supposedly this is supposed to be a very light, kind of freeing and luxurious fragrance all at the same time. So I'll spray a bit on my wrist here. Okay, so right away it is definitely very fresh. I guess it does invoke this very dramatic picture of running across the water. So the top notes are cardamom, Amalfi lemon, spices, and juniper berries. And the lemon is, you get that right away. It's very refreshing. It is very much like you plucked a lemon from a tree on the Amalfi coast of Italy and just tore open the lemon with your bare hands. So very fresh, very much in your face, refreshing. It's, you could imagine, like, if you've been out in the heat all day and you want something to freshen up, this would do it. I guess the spices are prominent because the lemon is there, but then there's something warmer right behind it. The middle notes are mainly green notes and some floral notes, so like green tea sort of thing. There is kind of those gentle green notes. Not very prominent, obviously they're not designed to be prominent, but very dewy almost. Dewy, natural, very reminiscent of, garden plants or just plants in general. And the base notes are mainly musk, cedar, and some other woodsy notes. So overall, from the notes alone, you could tell that this fragrance is very crisp and very light. And to me, the lemon is the most prominent out of all the notes so far. Although, this doesn't seem to be on the list, but I would also say there are hints of lime, lemon and lime, which continues to give it a very refreshing sort of profile. And I can see how this would be a popular unisex fragrance, because there's not really notes that are too stereotypically female or stereotypically male. Instead, it's more general citrus, woodsy with a bit of spice, which is good for both genders. Citrus in general is pretty gender neutral. It's just refreshing. So, this fragrance, I believe, came out in 2010, and the nose behind the fragrance is Jean-Claude Elena. So, naturally, from a brand like Hermes, you're bound to get a very high quality fragrance. And another thing about this, I can't quite tell what spice there is in it behind all that lemon, but there's definitely a certain warmth that you wouldn't expect right away from this fragrance because it is so light and fresh. But there is a certain spice that is grounding it and making it not heavy, but just it has a warm kind of aroma, especially as it absorbs into the skin. I quite like it. It's not something I would usually wear, but it is something that's really good for freshening up or going. You know it's going to be a really hot day outside, so you might as well wear something that will continuously refresh you throughout the day. Or it's good for putting on after getting out of a shower, that sort of thing. So overall, those are all really good qualities in a perfume. Just a light, kind of pleasant perfume. And the main thing I don't like about it, which is expected because it's an eau de toilette, is that it's just not all that strong. It's more of an intimate kind of perfume. So it definitely, even if you put on a lot of it, I don't think it will be too noticeable to people around you. It will probably be noticeable to you, especially as you move about. The fragrance will stay very close to your body. It won't emanate too much or go out into the room. Not too much like this horse galloping across the sea. It'll kind of just stay in around you. And because of that, you could kind of experiment in different ways of wearing this fragrance. You could wear it during the day, during the evening, during different seasons, different temperatures. I mainly find that this would be best for warmer temperatures just because it's so light and refreshing. And I feel like those notes wouldn't communicate as well in a colder environment. But of course, it's all up to a person's preference. But the notes in general, like the lemon and everything, are more summery or maybe for spring. Even though it does have a warmth, it's not too warm or warm enough for autumn or winter, I would say. As for the longevity, like I said, it's relatively light perfume, so you can't expect it to last all that long. So I wouldn't say that maybe 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, it would probably last. Maybe if you put on a lot, maybe 5 to 6 hours, but in general I would say 4 to 5. After that, it would become quite faint. You would really have to get up to the pulse points to really still smell it. As for the Sillage, as mentioned before, it's pretty much going to stay where you are. It's not going to emanate too much. So, more of just kind of a fragrance for the individual to enjoy. Unless you put on a lot and then immediately go out, then people might be able to kind of smell it off of you. But it will kind of become more of an intimate fragrance very quickly. Some people might not like that, some people might prefer that. So you just kind of keep that in mind if you plan on getting this fragrance. For me, I would personally like it for probably getting out of the shower to kind of freshen up, or to go outside on a very hot day, and like I said, just to continue that invigorating freshness throughout the day. And of course you could reapply it, if you want to make sure it doesn't fade away too quickly. But otherwise, it's more of just a light kind of day fragrance. I personally think it's a bit overpriced for what it is, since it is quite light and it won't last too long. But I mean, you could see from the sample, I think you can get a lot of use just from a small sample like this. And I'm also surprised at how well constructed the sample card is. It's larger than your average sample card, and the cardboard is much firmer. So mainly, you can kind of see the quality even in the sample. So if you have any opinions on Voyage D'Hermes perfume, you can leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe. And I post videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.